Well, alrighty, fellas. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful, bright, and sunny day to play some PokeMMO. How are we feeling today? How are you guys doing? Are you ready to hopefully get a legendary Pokemon, do our Jimmy run? Still making really good, consistent progress on the Iron Man, up to over 1 million Pokeyen on the cash stack, which I love to see. I need to buy some more timer balls, some Pokeballs, so I don't miss out on that legendary catch. But we have a lot of news, tips, tricks, daily stuff to get into. Welcome back to the PokeMMO stream recap. This is PokeMMO stream recap 345, which is crazy. We've been doing it for that long. Your daily source of Pokemon news, tips, tricks, information, what's going on inside the community without having to play 16 hours a day. All right, let's jump into it. You've probably seen this. We've covered this a few times, so I'm not going to cover it in great detail. This is, I did take, to be fair, I did just realize that the Gligar is holding a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. How did nobody... I never realized that before. That's fucking amazing. Okay, anyways, we're gonna continue onward. Fucking drink up, man. Hey, cheers, Gligar. Anyways, this is a Safari-themed catch event coming up on the 22nd of June. That is a Sunday at 11 a.m. ET. Safari Zone Kanto. All the Safari Pokemon in the Kanto region, you can catch them to have a chance to win a shiny Venonat and 1,000 RP. Good catch event, be there or be square, and it's during official Pokemon Safari Week. Okay, next up, a Volcarona catch event that's popped up at 3 p.m. ET on Friday. So in 2 days, one day after the stream recap, so keep that on your calendar. Friday at 3 p.m. ET, Relic Castle Unova. We're catching Larvestas, Onyxes, Crocorox, Cofagrigus. And then you're going to have a chance to win a 6x31 Volcarona, which I would adore on an Iron Man account. I would just love that. Next up, this is... so glad this person made this post. This is a post that affects... I've had this bug many times. I actually lost a game to this bug for a very specific reason because I couldn't log... I forget the reason why. I couldn't log out and log back in for some reason, but now I don't remember why. But I disconnect? I forget what happened. But there's a really common PvP bug. If you've played PvP, you've probably encountered this bug where you can't select your Pokemon and you just time out and lose. Now, to quickly fix this, you can actually log out and log back in, and that almost always fixes it. However, there was one situation, I don't remember what it was. Does anybody in chat know? There was one where I couldn't log out. I think my logout was bugged, or what happened was I got 2 bugs at once. I remember now. I logged out and attempted to log back in to fix that PvP bug. What happens is if you don't click OK to like ready up your team or like pick your starter, you have to click OK at the first like 30 seconds of a PvP match. And if you don't do that, this bug happens like almost every time, like a lot. And I happened to have this bug in a randoms PvP match while on like a 7-game win streak. And then when I tried to log back in, I got the login bug where I couldn't log in for like 15 minutes or something like that. And so I just lost that game. That sucked. That really sucked. And that was more of a client problem than like a actual... Yeah, you've probably seen it. If you play PvP, you've probably seen this. It makes so you can't select your Pokemon. The really easy fix is to log in and log out, or log out and log back in. But this is an annoying bug and it sucks. And you want to avoid this where possible. And it seems like the devs are trying to get on top of it, which is nice. But just click OK on your PvP matches until that bug is fixed, okay? Next up. This has been talked about before in PokeMMO, but I think this person presents it well, and it's a good talking point on the stream recap. Daily login rewards. Should we have daily login rewards in PokeMMO? I'm kind of neither here nor there on this topic. I'm neutral towards it. It depends on how they do it. If you know about daily login rewards in other video games, you know that generally, daily logins are a malicious tactic used by mobile games and gacha games to get you to build a habit, even if you don't enjoy the game, or to like build that muscle memory to get you logged. It's like to get you addicted. So inherently they are used. Not inherently, they're often used for malicious intent, but they don't have to be. Is kind of the thing. They don't have to be. But yeah, I agree that like getting Pokeyen is not ideal because it just brings in extra currency into the game and could cause inflation issues. We thankfully don't have inflation issues right now, so maybe that's fine. I don't know. But a daily login reward would be some sort of daily reward where you log in every day and get a bonus for playing the game. You need at least 4 badges. I thought this was cool. I've never seen this before. Solved by Usopp. I've never seen a... It's posted in the suggestion box. I've never seen a forum post in PokeMMO say solved. This is like part of the new forum, I guess. They changed the forums pretty recently. I like this idea, but I've seen the big hesitancy this feature is the FOMO it would create. Not even the FOMO, but like the malicious intent behind it and the addiction it causes. But essentially pretty close to FOMO. Having some of the players log in or miss out on rewards is something some players won't like. I think this feature could I think this could work if this problem is solved and could widely be accepted. Maybe one solution is have the rewards stacked. I don't love this because it kind of defeats the purpose of daily login rewards. They used to get them at the end of the month or end of the season, but who logged in get them every day. End of the month or season, but those who logged in get them every day. I think, how do you balance? The problem is like the way you balance daily login rewards, it fully comes down to what they contain. When I think of fun little daily login rewards, I think of I don't like the idea of free Pokeballs is fine. Pokeballs is fine because you want to, when it comes to login rewards or rewards like this in a video game, you want to give the player items that encourage them to do activities in the game, if that makes sense. Someone said a random egg. That's kind of cool. I like the idea of that, a random Pokemon egg. That's actually really cute. Some endgame players might hate that though because they have to hatch it, which is kind of I don't know. That's kind of cute. A random egg would be cool. I don't like Pokeyen because it doesn't encourage you to actually do anything. Free Pokeballs is good because it encourages you to go catch Pokemon with them. When I think of good items to put in daily logins, I think of like XP boosts, or obviously you don't want to just give away like free, maybe a free 50% XP boost would be okay though. Like an XP charm, maybe like a lucky egg or whatever that lasts 30 minutes. You want to give people items that encourage them to actually play the game, right? Not what's it called? The problem is any sort of reward is going to affect the yen sink. It's going to affect the economy no matter what. But yeah, things like 50% XP charms, they could even create, if this is too good, they could even create, something like a free amulet coin at like the end of I could see like one free amulet coin being like the 1 week if you log in 7 days straight reward, or like XP charms, like things that encourage you to actually play the game is generally better than like just Pokeyen or whatever, right? You could even, I was going to say like Cab, you could even introduce a new XP charm that's like beginner XP charm that gives you like a 25% boost or even like a 10% boost for like an hour or whatever. And I think players, one of the most common complaints I hear from new players is problems in the storyline and getting stuck on levels in the storyline. And I always say, if you're a new player in the storylines, I recommend fighting every single trainer, and that will really prevent a lot of your problems. But you can still, the leveling is still hard. Even if you fight every single trainer, you can run into issues. So maybe a little XP charm, a beginner XP boost that you could get as a new player during you would use during the storylines runs and not feel guilty about. That could be cool, I think that could be a really cool thing. So some sort of beginner, like daily login rewards should be good for beginner players, not veterans for the most part. It's like a little trickle for us, but for beginners, it could be a really genuinely helpful thing. Okay. The login rewards can work. They aren't inherently malicious or inherently bad, but they have to just be done well is the main thing. Next up, some discussion here about the Iron Man game mode, of course. Similar to RuneScape Iron Man's mode, it'd be fun to have the option to make an account that is not able to trade or interact with other players, i.e. wouldn't be able to buy/sell, wouldn't be able to trade. Right now, it's a self-imposed challenge. It'd be nice to have an official game mode. Yes, I super agree with all this. Obviously, we've talked a ton about Iron Man. I don't need to read this full post, but I appreciate the post from Zymogan. Now, Bilbert, who's a little bit of a troll historically on the forums, but he does ask a good question. You could just not trade. Well, it's kind of a, I'm gonna answer this question earnestly is the way to handle this. So he says you could just not trade, have it just be self-imposed. Zymog says you could say the same for RuneScape, yet have their reasons, for making it entirely new game mode. But Zymog doesn't actually list the reasons, right? Bilbert says, can you list them or do I have to know these? I want to go ahead and answer these. The main reason to have an official game mode is for leaderboard and legitimacy, right? So the main reason why it's really important and to draw new players in, having an official game mode, it's like having an official Nuzlocke or an official Iron Man mode in RuneScape, right? What it does is it confirms that player is 1000% for sure in Iron Man. Unfortunately, in the current PokeMMO Iron Man system, it's at the end of the day a trust system, right? Unfortunately, technically, I could be cheating behind the scenes. I hope that you guys know that I'm not, and I stream as all my content as possible, and I show my trade log and all these things, but unfortunately, there is no way to 100% validify my Iron Man account, which sucks. That makes me sad. I wish I could, totally validify that, right? So having an in-game restriction that you select that disables you from trading and using the GTL would be a 100% confirmation that you actually are under the same rule sets as someone else. It's very similar to why the OT shiny system matters in PokeMMO, because you can tell if someone has an OT shiny, it means they hunted that shiny. They didn't just buy it off the GTL or credit card swipe or yada yada yada. So having an official game mode is extremely important for legitimacy, prestige, and general community feeling. It also draws players in. When Old School RuneScape introduced the Iron Man game mode, people were like, it's one thing to have a community game mode that I, sort of push and encourage, and people create Iron Mans. It's another thing when the official game encourages it, right? It mimight surprise people. Not everybody watches my content, right? A lot of people don't watch my content. I would bet you that only like 20% of the community watches my content. The community is a lot of the, maybe even 10%. A lot of the PokeMMO community, probably 10% actively. A lot of the PokeMMO community is non-English speaking, very international. I might not be their cup of tea. Maybe they consider me annoying. My editing's low effort. I get it. There's plenty of reasons to not watch me, right? But this means that the important thing is this means that not everybody's going to know about the Iron Man account nor care about it, right? But if PokeMMO were to officially encourage it, it really matters, right? Yeah, same thing with Hardcore WoW. Pretty much every game that has had a self-imposed challenge, like an Iron Man account, a hardcore account, whatever, whenever they've introduced the game mode, it's always been a boon to the game, almost always. So we can just go off of straight up history. We've seen this happen over and over and over again. But hopefully these arguments stand true and make sense, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't play all these other games, haven't put thousands of hours into MMOs like I have, right? Like, you maybe don't know like why it's important to have an official game mode. So there's a genuinely good, earnest question there, so I wanted to go ahead and hopefully add to that conversation. So hopefully that he went on to actually, and I want to see let's see what, I didn't read this yet. Let's see what Zymode says. Who would stick to a solo game mode to make an effort to be self-sufficient if there weren't generation on the accounts? It allows players to more deeply appreciate the manual process of having to accumulate that. Yeah, the benefits of Iron Man is really cool. It would give more of a purpose to stuff like the crafting system. 100% true. PvP matches are one of the most important resources on an Iron Man account. The satisfaction to be able to see you built it. He's explaining the benefits of the Iron Man account for sure, as opposed to just which he's not wrong. Having actual forces the game to play the game from a different perspective gives more inherent value to items. Shinies on these accounts wouldn't affect the current market. Yeah. I'm excited to see. I don't know. People have asked me what are my thoughts on if we'll see an official Iron Man game mode. I think it's like 50-50. I have no idea. It's so up in the air. I have no idea, man. I think it could happen. It's literally like maybe the most 50-50 update possible. Okay. Next up, this is pretty fucking cool. Shout out to Smooge, fellow PokeMMO content creator, PvP YouTuber. Check him out on YouTube. And just also Pokemon PvP player. I talked about yesterday in my stream recap. I was like, PokeMMO is bigger than people realize. There's a lot of, someone asked like how big is the PvP scene and how many PvP games are played. We can thankfully go check the PvP statistics and see that 262,000 OU games alone were played in the past 18 days, right? I counted and found out that like 840,000 players had queued up for PvP games over the past 17 days. And then on top of that, like 400 whatever thousand games were played. Smooge, who plays Showdown, let me know that in Gen 9 last month in Gen 9 OU on Showdown, they had 1.1 million games played, when PokeMMO OU had 480K. This is an insane, yeah, like Dripsky said, this blew my mind. I always say, I know that I have played this game a ton. I know that PokeMMO is bigger than most other games, but I can't believe, yeah, there's so many reasons. Cav brings a great point. The fact that PokeMMO is getting half of the games played as the biggest Pokemon PvP thing, when I would guesstimate that only 10 to 20% of PokeMMO players even play PvP. And then on top of it, PokeMMO PvP games take longer and last longer because the animations aren't sped up. And then on top of it, to play 90% of PokeMMO PvP, you have to go grind and spend Pokeyen and build a team. Most players are putting in like 300 to 500 hours before ever having even one PvP team built. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's so many reasons why the fact that we are getting this many games played comparatively to the most popular is just genuinely crazy. Like, this is a really good statistic to be like, holy fuck, PokeMMO is even bigger. It's so much bigger than we realize because it's such an international game, so we don't always see the every side of it. This blew my mind. So shout out to Smooch for sharing this. I think that is a beautiful statistic to know. That is fucking wild to me. They need to implement Pokemon as follower sprites while you're on the bike. Okay, now we're getting some good ass in-game suggestions. I fully agree with that. That would be fucking why not? The problem is they'd have to like move really fast. The problem is like how funny would it be to see like shiny zipping across the street? That might be a little funny. I have no idea. I love the idea. It's very funny. Unironically, I love the idea. We're talking about mounts and stuff in PokeMMO, and I've always said I don't love. It's not an objective critique. It's just a personal preference. I don't like in Poke1 and Pro, I believe, those two games, that you can just buy these big flashy mounts on like their premium currency shop. Like I don't like loading up into a game and seeing everybody shiny Arcanine, Lugia, blah blah. And it's like I'd rather just I'd rather mounts be like an actually earnable thing. That's a personal preference, not an objective like critique of it. But I'd rather like mounts be like a rare earnable thing from raids or some sort of endgame content versus like a buyable reward, right? And Terminus said they could in PokeMMO possibly make like the Uber legendaries that we can't add to the game otherwise. They could make the Uber legendaries mount rewards as rewards from their raids. So let's say we were to have like a Lugia raid, right? You could then, if you beat the raid, get a mount reward. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be like a perfect solution to give people their favorite Pokemon, their Uber Pokemon in a way, but also make them like really rare and cool, like a reward for being good at the game and playing the game versus just like credit card swiping, right? I think that's a really cool idea. I love the idea of like a Garatina or a Lugia. I wouldn't want too many. The problem is like which ones do you do and how, but I think we have enough. I think it would work really well, honestly. I think it'd be very, very cool. This is a great question. What's the biggest flex in PokeMMO? I think it's the Shiny Wars wings. It's gonna be different per person. I think it's the Shiny Wars charcoal wings. Some people might say it's the like globe, the golden globe vanity you get from winning PvP events. Shiny Shedinja. Well, Shiny Shedinja's kind of fallen off over the years, unfortunately. Party hat. What else? Legendaries are a flex. Legendaries or Shalfas are a flex. However, Legendaries and Shalfas are unfortunate because someone could have like legendary hunted over and over again on like multiple accounts, or like alpha checked on 50 accounts a day, but like a lot of times Shalfas and Legendaries are just a one-time off of RNG. They're still amazingly impressive and cool, but they're not really. Shalfas and Legendaries are often like moments of one amazing moment of RNG, which is cool and does happen, you know, which is still, you know, it's one of the like more tough discussions in Pokemon. Is like, how much do you respect insane moments of RNG? You should still like love them and respect them because like RNG evens out. If someone gets a shiny Turtwig, for example, in 5 eggs, right? It doesn't mean I'm like, oh, that's not an earn. Like, it's still a really I'm still happy. It's a really cool shiny and it's awesome. It's still like deserved and, you know, cool, but it's different. It is different than if someone got it in 30K. They're both deserved, but in different ways. And then I would say what happens is that person who got that Turtwig in like 5 eggs might go like 100K dry next on their hunt. And that's when like, okay, if you get the Turtwig and then do the 100K egg hunt and don't quit, that's when I'm like, okay, you're a fucking G. Nice job, dude. That's impressive, you know? That's when it's like extra impressive. So it definitely like matters, and there's a lot of things to factor in. I'm trying to think what else. Party hat is a 1/1 vanity. Charizard, the Zard wings. What else? There's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of things like that that could be the biggest flex in PokeMMO. Great question. Holy shit, boys! We got the official PokeMMO Shiny Wars announcement. Let's fucking go! Oh, okay. Woo! This was just posted. Oh my goodness. It is so... I'm so fucking hyped. The fucked up thing is I don't even know if I'm participating this year. But I'm excited, dude. I love shunting. I love the shunting community. Like, this is a fucking big deal. Oh, dude, posted just now in Shiny Wars events. Official PokeMMO Shiny Wars 2025. Welcome to the second annual PokeMMO Shiny Wars competition. For those who don't know, this is the Super Bowl of shiny hunting. This is what it's all about. Competing in this, trying to be the best shunting team in the game. Oh, this is amazing. Let's jump into what they're... Okay, let's jump into it. PokeMMO Shiny Wars is a competition between groups of players that form teams in order to showcase their dedication to a style of play that used to have a less competitive nature, shiny hunting. This event will allow for a different kind of competition with the game on an official level. With the feedback from the community I'm so excited to see the changes. Regarding the last event, some adjustments have been made. Change to the length of the event. as well as implementations of other bonuses and restrictions that contribute to more variety in team effort. The Shiny World will include a unique species bonus where teams will get a bonus point for each unique evolution line caught during an event, as well as duplicate penalty. Oh, it's gonna make it so interesting. Okay, so this rule is so important because if there is a broken strategy, it is impossible. This rule makes it so that it is impossible for there to be a meta game that is too like one-sided and broken. So for reference, last year, Cryogonal Hordes were by far the best strategy. It wasn't even close, okay? It wasn't even close, right? Yeah, I think here's the link, everybody in chat. It wasn't even close. This makes it so that like after you catch your first Cryogonal in your team, you'll get less points per one, I assume. So this is a really big deal. I'm doing my gym run in the background, so I'm a little distracted. Apologies. But this is a massive deal. Really good for balancing. Date July 11th to August 8th. What is that? 28 days, or is it less than 1 month? I mean, I'm so down for that. I think last year it was 2 months, and about 3 weeks in to the 2-month event, everybody realized, holy shit, this is way too long. And that was, it was growing pains. We just had to experience that. There was no other way to learn that without actually trying Shiny Wars, right? So, this event will be capped at 100 teams. Isn't that way more than before? Wait, wasn't it last time like 50 teams or something? This is like double the teams, no? Last year was 55? Okay. If you're unable to find a team, you can use this thread. Okay, look for teammates. The signups for the sign up, this is very important. The sign up for the event begins on 7-2, or depending on how you view month. Was it July 2nd? July 2nd, guys. It is a first come first serve event. You need to make sure you have your like message pre-typed and you send this immediately. Okay. July 2nd, 2025 at UTC, which is midnight ET. It might be 7 p.m. depending on time zone changes. All teams must be registered via the registration thread. All team registrations must include a team name and elect a member of their team to be the team leader. All teams must include at least 25 players, but no more than 30. You definitely want 30. And by the way, you definitely want 30 because you're just at a disadvantage. So I strongly recommend every single team to try to get 30 players. It's really important. You don't want to be a man down. Okay. Players will present with one character. Anyone found breaching this will be disqualified from this and any future events. Do not multi-log for this. All OT shiny Pokemon caught by representatives of the event period will be recorded by the staff after the event concludes. You do not need to manually submit them. Ooh, so they'll be tracking all of our points for us and stuff. You must keep your shiny Pokemon until the results are announced. Do not sell them or trade them or breed them even. Do not fuck with them. Each Pokemon with an evolution line will be worth the same number of points. Shinies bred from the shiny parents are not valid entries. In the case of, I love the sudden death. In the case of a point tie, there will be a sudden death race. If this occurs, whichever team involved in the tiebreaker that obtains the most points in 48 hours, the dream is a tiebreaker, sudden death. Shiny Pokemon obtained from Mysterious Balls are valid for the main event, but are not valid for sudden victory. This is a big one. So I remember last year when Mysterious Balls were announced as being okay for the event, I was a big advocate supporter against that, and I was not a fan of Mysterious Balls being allowed, and I've historically not been a fan of Mysterious Balls in PokeMMO. However, I was ridiculously wrong. We found out that Mysterious Balls were not at all a problem in Shiny Wars because the supply is so limited on the GTL and because they cost so much Pokeyen. The time save was like nice, but even if you popped a shiny, it would often be like a 2-point shiny. We had someone spend like multiple thousands of dollars on Mysterious Balls and get like 5 points. And we found out that just buying like if you're gonna credit card swipe, you might as well go for like fossils or egg hunts or like actual rare time-consuming difficult shunts. So that was a really cool thing to see. I was happy to be wrong because I was so wrong on that. Next up, okay. The scoring. So there are different shinies, different species are worth different points. Tier 6 is 2 points. Tier 5 is 3 points. Tier 4 is 6 points. Tier 3 is 10 points based on the rarity of the Pokemon. Tier 2 is 15 points. Excited for this part. I really hope fossils are nerfed. They should be. They were too broken. And it encourages credit card swipe, which I don't like, obviously. It should be like, yeah. Tier 2 50 points, tier 1 25, tier 0 30 points, shiny alpha 50 points, shiny legendary / mythical 100 points. This was not the case last year, right? Or am I just mistaken? I would love to see someone get this and have a huge bonus. Secret shiny, was this a bonus last year? I don't remember. I'm so excited for a secret shiny boost. Safari boost of +5 points. Egg hatch will count as 20 points, or this is awesome. So there's a flat bonus for eggs, a flat point thing for egg, or you can go by the higher tiered species. This is such a good way to do this. Oh, this is so, all the changes so far are so good. Unique species bonus, +5 bonus points for each unique evolution line. Duplicate penalty, duplicate shinies with the same evolution line call if they worth only 1 point. Oh my god, that's like even harsher. I thought it'd be like -1 point. Worth only 1 point is an even crazier restriction than I expected, and I'm so down for that. I'm so yeah, what a great rule. It's gonna require, it's a difficult rule because it's gonna require way more team communication, and if a teammate gets a duplicate shiny, other teammates might get mad at them. Please keep in mind to be patient, because these events are very draining. People are playing a video game 16 hours a day. It's exhausting. Your like brain is mush. Like, please remember to be patient and kind to your teammates. But yeah, that is crazy. Okay, the tier chart. Okay, let's first go through the hosts, Enzo and Park. Thank you. I cannot encourage myself and you guys to just thank these people enough. The Shiny Wars events are a fully like staff ran event, and it is literally just the non-developers. It is just the community managers and the staff, who I don't think are paid, right? Like, it's just these players who are just going above and beyond for the community. Like, this is the most above and beyond selfless, kind thing you can do to help the community. People like Enzo, people like Park, Nathan, Cosmos, Zaxi, Austin, Revs, Planer X, BL, Matsui, C, Sai, sorry, Call Me Sensei, and Hyper. Like, thank you all so fucking much. Like, it's a massive boon to the economy. I'm gonna go over the prizes, and then we'll go back to the tiers. All right, first place prize. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed by this, but I understand. First place prize is the sparkling charcoal dragon wings. It is an amazing vanity, and I respect a chance to win them again. But the problem is, why would the previous year's winner go as hard in this event for the same vanity, right? There's an argument for, I do think like personal pride is arguably enough for Shiny Wars, but it's a little bumming to see this, I'm not gonna lie. Second place prize is charcoal dragon wings that are also untradeable but don't have a sparkle effect. I selfishly want them retired, yes. Yeah, I agree. I think defending your crown is a valid argument. And make sure you're the only people who... I get that, but I don't know if it's enough of an incentive. But I understand the arguments. There are arguments for it. I would have really liked to see a new vanity or an option or something like that. However, okay, this is really good. Fourth place prize is 1,000 RP for each player, which is more than last year. And the fact that we even have... Last year, we didn't have fourth and fifth place prizes, did we? Or was it, like, retroactively added? Last year was, like, they retroactively added second and third place prizes. Fourth and fifth place, 1,000 RP for each player, 500 for each player. That's something. Honestly, that's a nice consolation prize. And it's more people this year. It's, 100 teams or whatever. MVP prize. I love that MVP gets the charcoal wings and the 1,000 RP as well. That's very cool. All right. The charcoal wings are the only way to earn them is via the Shiny Wars. Let's go ahead and go through the tier list as well. I do want to... I'm butchering this Jimmy run, but that's okay. It's worth it, honestly. So tier 6, you're going to see your average like ×5 hordes. Your Abras, your Arons, your Claydol Baltoy. Yep. These are all going to be ×5 hordes. Shinies, yep, pretty typical. Tier 5 is going to be like ×5 Leppas. Yup, Axew, Caterpie, Deli. Yup, they're all ×5 Leppa hunts. Okay, normal, typical. Once you get to tier 4, it's also just a good way to teach new players. This is a good way to teach new players different how rare certain shinies are, honestly. Park says, I don't think we're at the point where we need a new vanity every year. I think a new vanity every year, I agree with, we might not need. Maybe after this year, You know, I think it's fair. I'm not trying to say it's like I'm a little disappointed without a new vanity, but there's so much other positive stuff going on. I don't want that to overshadow. You know, it's important to make critiques and also acknowledge the positives. It's very easy to see one negative in an event and go, you know, crazy. Oh, this event's blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of people often do that. I think that's silly. I think it's childish. I think it's immature. There's, you know, there's a lot of positives here and a lot of really cool things. A lot of them be tradable. I don't want that. I think it should be a cool, you know, personally, but okay. Tier 4, these are ×3 horde shunts generally. Chimicles, I think, is a ×5 level that's far. No, I read it, Park. Cottony, Darumaka, Dratini, Drifloon, Electabuzz, Hippo. Yep, okay, typical stuff. Tier 3, single encounter shunts, I think. Sometimes 3. Bagon, it's a single encounter, but it's 20%, so honestly, it makes sense. How do I can't scroll over to see the other... I need to like do this. Okay. And make sure this is shown on screen. One sec. Okay, here we go. I'm butchering this Jimmy run, but it's okay. The most important tiers are tiers 0 through 2 are the most important ones. So we have fossils appearing in tier 2. That is a big nerf to them. Aerodactyl, Archon, Anorith, Cranidos, all the fossils essentially. Gulpin, Kangaskhan, Lapras, Laleep, Quillfish, Yanma, Tropius. Okay. I'll read all here. Tier 2 is Aerodactyl, Apom, Anorith, Archon, Combee, Cranidos, Croagunk, Execute, Farfetch, Gulpin, Heracross, Kabuto, Kangaskhan, Lapras, Laleep, Minun, Mr. Mime, Ammonite, Pineco, Plusle, Quillfish, Relicanth, Shieldon, Shroomish, Shuckle, Tortuga, Tropius, Yanma. Nothing stands out there to me as like egregious and shouldn't be in tier 2. Tier 1. Tier 1, we have Absol, Beldum, Burmy, Carnivine, Castform, Chansey, Cherubi, Eevee, Phoebus, Kecleon, Larvesta, Panpour, Pansage, Panseer, Pinsir, Scyther, Skarmory, Skitty, Scorpy, Slackoth, Snorlax, Sudowoodo, Zorua. Tier 0, we have your Phenos, your Alomolas, your like rare starter Pokemon, Alomolas, Audinos, Basculin, Blue form. I like that they always do that stipulation. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Chikorita, Chimchar, Cyndaquil, Drillbur, Ducklet, Amolga, Mudkip, Oshawott, Piplup, Porygon, Riolu, Rotom, Shedinja, Snivy, Spiritomb, Squirtle, Tepig, Togepi, Torchic, Totodile, Trico, Turtwig, and Tyrode. These all seem great to me. I don't see anything that needs to be like egregiously moved over. From what I understand, arguably maybe Chansey to tier 2 because it's a female-only egg shunt. But like, was Kangaskhan also in tier? Is Kangaskhan tier? I can see Chansey arguably should be moved to tier 2, but that's the only one. I think this is a very, 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 very good tier list. I think this is a massive, massive, massive upgrade from last year. I think we saw like pretty much we had all of our wishes granted, like except for the vanity, which I think is, you know, this is a W event. I agree. W event. I'm very excited for it. The massive increase in teams, the massive decrease in the time, the total rebalance of scoring. I think this is an amazing... We basically got everything we wanted to see, except for the one thing. I want to focus on that. Yeah, I think this is amazing. I think this is an amazing event. I'm really excited covering this event on stream, seeing the community involvement. Shiny Wars is one of the most exciting times to play PokeMMO, whether you're a shiny hunter or not, right? Like, one of the coolest parts of Shiny Wars is even if you're not a shiny hunter, it affects the economy egregiously and you can make a lot of money. If you're not a shiny hunter, I hope you watch till the end because you can make a lot of money, make a lot of profit, and still get massive advantage off of Shiny Wars. So I hope you guys are excited. Make sure to like this video to support my content in Shiny Wars. Subscribe to see future updates on the event and all the day-to-day progress on it. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. for streams generally. And then if you want to go, join the Discord for updates, you can go above and beyond and support the channel using Factor. First link in the description. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, gifted subs, and PayPal/Venmo donations really allow me to be here and stay on top of content like this. Thank you to all the staff for hosting, and I'm excited to see who participates and who makes a name for themselves in the PokeMMO community. This is one of your best chances to like shine and be a hero in the PokeMMO community, and it's always cool to see who pops up. Great question. So what's the best way to prep to make money during this event? Probably fossil. There's no guaranteed thing, right? Dittos. It wouldn't surprise me if Dittos, saving up or farming Dittos, and then Dittos and fossils are the two best, generally, because shiny hunters are going to want to go for rares. Yes, Dittos and fossils. Dittos and fossils. I'm gonna start. That'll be the new slogan from this point onward. Dittos and fossils, fellas. Wait, that's so fucking funny. Could you imagine? Okay, playing a shiny war as an Iron Man is like not viable. Like it's such a disadvantage. It's not worth it. But oh my goodness, the idea of trying to win a shiny war on an Iron Man for the RP is really funny. That is a really like that's one of guys. There's actually 3 ways you could win RP on an Iron Man account. That's amazing. That's so good. No, I super agree with Park on this. I think this event is not as straightforward planning wise as last time, and I love that. Teams are gonna have to coordinate and communicate so much on who's hunting. You're gonna have to get 30 people of a same dedication. I will say, if you're looking to make a shiny war team, the #1 thing I would recommend you do is ask your team, ask people how many hours do they think they can put in the month. That's per week rather, maybe, right? It's really, really important. One of the biggest problems that I've encountered with fantasy EHP and like all my numerous video game tournaments that are MMO grindy tournaments, I've done a lot of them, right? The biggest problem you want to avoid is having people with different objectives and different goals. A lot of people want to play shiny wars to try to win and be the best and like put in 16 hours a day, right? And like sacrifice and go hard. Some people just want to play shiny wars to put in 2 hours a day and have fun and just see what happens and encourage themselves. Like there's no wrong way to play the game or the shiny war, but it's really important you have a like-minded team. I cannot recommend you enough to make sure that you communicate properly, socialize a lot, and make sure your team has the same goals. Because if there's nothing more frustrating than being a player who puts in 16 hours and in a team where everyone else is putting in 2 or has given up, like you should, the 2 questions that I recommend team builders ask: how many hours can you put in a week? Yes, you obviously don't know for sure. Sometimes people put in, they'll do 100 hours and they put in like 10, and that's just gonna happen. That sucks. It's frustrating to deal with that. Sometimes a legitimate reason, like, you know, tragedy or whatever, but sometimes people just mentally can't handle it, dude. Video game tournaments are not, it sounds dumb, but it's no joke, man. A lot of people fall off every single year, right? It makes sense. And then so ask how many hours can you put in per week, and then I recommend asking, what's your, like, when will you give up? Like, what's your metric? Like, how, I don't know how to ask that, like what, how many points behind, or like, because I think it's an important thing to discuss. Sometimes you strategically should give up, and that sucks, but it's better to do that than spend a lot of hours. But sometimes you shouldn't give up, and people give up way too early, and that's another one of like the 16 to 2 hour thing, is when people give up because they're a few points behind or a few hundred or whatever behind, when you could get like rare shinies that are worth 100 alone. Like, it's, you have to communicate with your team. When is the point where you want to give up? How many points behind are you willing to give up? And then how many hours can you play per week? I really recommend, please communicate with your player base. Shiny Wars can be an amazing thing, but it can also be frustrating if you don't plan your teams properly. And it's hard to be a team leader in this kind of environment. It's a very, very dedicated game. There's a lot of dedicated shiny hunters. It's a very serious event for a lot of people. Yeah, to give you an idea of how intense shiny wars can get, Mist says, yeah, people are getting personal suppliers. Basically, you don't want to risk people who farm fossils listing them on the GTL for other teams to grab. That's like, yeah, personal ditto fossil farmers, suppliers, that is a very valued thing with the upcoming shiny wars. If you want to make some Pokeyen, I recommend start farming fossils, start farming dittos, learn how to do those farms. It's a great way for an average player to cash in a ton of Pokeyen during a very intense shiny war endgame event. Dude, Legion is spitting facts. This was supposed to be the off season, and I think we did actually have like kind of a mellow period of PokeMMO for the past like 2 months maybe, but like you got to have some mellow period to grind and build back up capital and actually play the video game, right? Like post-event season, people have had some time to rebuild capital. But now, like, Safari Week starts in 2 days as of recording. Probably 1 day as you're seeing the stream recap. Safari Week starts in a day or two. Shiny Wars is coming up. Like, this is supposed to be the off-season, and there's still, like, so many events now. PokeMMO has become an extremely active game in terms... And also, Iron Man has kind of been reinvigorated or created in the community. Like, that's a big deal. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. Dude, people always ask me, like, how does it feel to, like, be the biggest PokeMMO content creator? I try to always remind people, I don't think I am actually the biggest I'm the biggest English-speaking PokeMMO creator. Me and Mega Bladers, now, at this exact moment, I have a few more subs than Mega Bladers, but me and him have traded off. Like, this has been a content creator, a Spanish speaking creator that me and him have constantly traded off. Who's like has more subs. Me at this exact moment I have a few more, but it's very, very close. And this is a amazing Spanish speaking content creator that I always say, like, we have grown so consistently together. It's really, really, really interesting. He's at 64.5k subs, and I think I'm at like 65k, 65ish. It's actually like really interesting / impressive how two content creators who speak two entirely different languages. I don't think our audience overlap is probably not that much. It's maybe a little bit, but like not that much. We both do amazing. If you speak Spanish, check him out. If you speak Spanish, you probably know about him, to be fair, you're in the Pokemon community, but he is amazing. It's really, really cool stuff. I'll even watch his videos sometimes, even though I don't speak the language. Like, really, really high quality creator. And it's really cool and interesting to see. I always say PokeMMO is such an international game. It's easy to forget. It's easy to not see the whole picture, right? Another big reason because of that is Bilibili. Who knows what Bilibili is? Bilibili is like from my understanding, like the Chinese equivalent to YouTube. And there's a lot of Mandarin speaking and Chinese speaking content creators on Bilibili who make PokeMMO content with like millions of views on certain videos. There's PokeMMO videos on Bilibili with 900,000, over 1 million views. My most viewed video is like 500k, which is obviously insanely good, don't be wrong, but like Bilibili pops off for PokeMMO, and the Chinese speaking community is huge in PokeMMO, and it's a good reminder that by only speaking one language, me and maybe some of you guys only see part of the game. We only see a small part of the community, and it's just it's a good mental check to remind ourselves that we don't have all the information, and it's cool to see. So shout out to all the other amazing international creators. The PokeMMO is a thriving game because of it. This is a great question that's been discussed a fair bit. I know the devs have expressed their opinions on not loving the implementation of roaming legendaries. Someone in chat asked, Panda asked, do you think changing roaming legendaries to be into a raid would be good? I'd hate having to run back and forth for them. I like there being some amount of roaming legendaries. I think even arguably each region should have one. Maybe that's too much though. I like there being some amount of roaming legendaries, but I think most legendaries from this point forward should be raids as opposed to roaming legendaries. Roaming legendaries is just not very interesting content for the most part. The best part of roaming legendary hunting is when it's a passive thing that's an extra like cherry on top as opposed to the main activity. If you're running back and forth like just over and over and over again to get a legendary, it feels really bad. But if you're like single encounter shiny hunting or catching Charmanders or catching a Pokemon for profit, like payday pick, if you're doing something else where you're like, okay, you're payday picking for profit and you have shiny chance and you have roaming legendary chance, that's where it's like, okay, a cool like cherry on top. That's interesting. That's fun, right? But if you're just running back and forth for that feels bad, you know? I like it as an extra activity, right? I think it mostly plays out as, but I think the ones that we have, I wouldn't want to change them, but I would like the future legendaries to be raids. It's a great question. There's no wrong opinion there. There's a lot of discussion revolving that. This is a great question. This is a total guesstimation, so please don't come for my throat if I'm wrong. What percentage do you think Dittos and Fossils will rise during Shiny Wars? Dittos right now are what, 5k a piece? There's like 2 for 4, but generally 5. It wouldn't surprise me if Dittos at least rise to 6. I think it's a pretty cold like guesstimate. I think 6k. It would not surprise me if Dittos rise to 6k a piece. I think that's a tame guesstimate. Could even be crazier, but at least I would say Dittos at least go to 6k. Fossils wouldn't surprise me if the cheapest fossil becomes anywhere from 12 or 11k, probably higher than. It wouldn't surprise me if at the event's peak fossils become like 15k a piece, but fossils were it depends. Fossils are less decidable because fossils were nerfed this year for the event, so we don't know how good they'll be. So yeah, so that's a tough one to guesstimate. I don't know about fossils. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me people are already buying out fossils. That makes sense. I think 6k Ditto boxes is a tame guess and makes sense. Fossils is harder to guesstimate. 12k minimum's an easy guesstimation, like for sure, but I don't know if it'll go much. I'm not sure. That's a harder one to call. Great question. All right, taking the day off tomorrow for Juneteenth, Pat. I actually am taking the day off tomorrow for a couple reasons. So my schedule is changing. This is a good clip. I am taking the day off tomorrow, mostly because there's a catch event coming up on Friday and one on Sunday. So I'll actually be live. What I'll be doing is switching around my schedule. I'll be taking off Thursday, which is not normal. I'll be off Thursday and then off Saturday, which is normal. But I will be live Friday and Sunday. So I'm actually streaming an extra day, which is this has been the case. I've been streaming 5 to 6 days a week pretty consistently on the Iron Man account because of all the catch events. So even though I'm like taking a day off, I'm actually working an extra day. But I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. So like, pretty easy, right? So I'm excited. That's the schedule change though for those interested in the streams. I won't be live Thursday. Will be live Friday. Won't be live Saturday. Will be live Sunday, and I'll be live Monday through Thursday next week as per usual. And Safari Week, I won't be live for Safari Week. I'll be live. From basically Sunday to the 29th, the end of Safari. And I do want to celebrate Safari Week. I won't be celebrating Safari Week as much as other people, I'm sure, because I have other things on the Iron Man that I want to do, right? So there's a few other goals. I will be doing some Safari Zone shunting on the Iron Man to just celebrate and have fun. And I think Safari Week's a really cool thing. But it won't be my main focus. I will be doing my Jimmy run still and legendary hunting still and doing other things. But it will be a nice way to give me an excuse to catch some breeders over in the Safari Zone. All right, and I think that's where I'm actually gonna go ahead and call it for today, fellas. A nice little almost 4-hour stream on a Wednesday. Once again, I won't be live tomorrow. I'm excited for Shiny Wars coming out. Safari Week is happening in 2 days. One day if you're watching this. If you want to support the channel, Factor, link in the description. Best way to check that out. There's so much going on, guys. Holy fucking crap. Iron Man, the next Iron Man episode 5, which in my opinion is the best episode by far. It's unbelievable how much insane shit happened in episode 5, coming out this Sunday. Keep an eye for that. There's a lot going on, fellas. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond, support the channel. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal / Venmo does help out a ton. As well as, once again, Factor. Best way to support the channel, and you get yourself amazing food. It's a win-win. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you not tomorrow. I'll see you Friday. Have a great day. Have a good week. See you guys very, very soon. Peace, Reno. Yo, Patrouski here, and I wanted to thank you personally for watching the video until the very end. I really, really appreciate that. And if your name is on this list, thank you to the moon and back, because you allow me to even make these videos by supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.